even in his illness, they would struggle to be available here and make sure that there is no vacuum of county. So we will miss him, but we are certain that God will give us another better, formidable surgery in the days to come. Mr. President, we want to welcome you back from Masaka. You did us well. Ugandans are very proud of your decisiveness, your steadfastness, your resolute, and your confidence when it comes to your people. Because many of us here, this is part of our bigger family. I can tell you that the president sometimes knows more about what is happening to me as a person than my twin brother. Because we live together from morning to morning, from day to night. We are also family and a big and greater family. So do not feel ashamed that you are part of this family. This family will always be there for you when you need us, alive or dead. However, we want to also thank, we have heard all of us, and I will speak about it in a minute with your indulgence, Mr. President. We had the best function, and we have leveled it to other functions. At our function, we had members of parliament who were close to the number of 100. Is that not a fact? At our function, it was presided over by the topmost Muslim cleric in Greater Masaka, if I can have that right, Mr. Honorable Muwonge. He was a district regional card, district card of Greater Masaka. At our function, it was clear that it was the real function because the Owaka Waka Wanga was present at that function. The Lord Mayor of Kampala was at that function. His lawyers, Caleb Alaka, Samuel Moizi, amongst others, were all at that function. So there should be no juxtaposition of which was supposed to be the real function. The real function is where the president was seated, and I want the world to know that that was the home, the indigenous home of Honorable Sejirinya. In Uganda, abafu tebabatwala mu masanganzira. Ate mu Buyisiraamu, maiti tebeera mu lujjudde eri, teringa zaffe z'Abakristaayo, wayise osobola okunteeka wano. Mujjukira nti ne Sejirinya bwe yali wano, yali mu mmotoka. Tebamukkiriza kujja wano. Ne twandibadde twagala okukola kye banditugambye, twandibadde tumenya empagi y'Obusiraamu nga tuwerekera muganda waffe ku lunaku olusembayo. Weebale nnyo Mr. President Swaibu okumanya empagi y'Obusiraamu, kubanga eyo empagi nkulu nnyo. Bagingambye nti Suratul Janeza teweza na dakiika 10 ate olumala Suratul Janeza muwulire ebintu gyebiri, kale nyinza okuba nga Oluwarabu lubongofu ayenga nekituufu. So we want to thank you, Mr. President. We want to thank all the members of parliament. We want to thank all the mayors. We want to thank every eminent person who was available at the great send-off of Honorable Sejirinya in Masaka. Thank you so very much. We want to thank the foot soldiers. But foot soldier banaye mbakubireko engalo z'amaanyi. Omulimu gwe mwakoze saagala muntu yenna bamalemu maki. Saagala muntu yenna bamalemu maki. Bwe tutyo bwe tufaanana, oyo yeffe, ate bw'otugezaako nga tusazeewo nti tujja, tuba tugenda kujja walayi bilayi talayi. Bafoot soldier mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Twagala mwenna okubebaza ne bannayuganda bonna, twagala okwebaza famire ya Sejirinya, ate tusaba mwongere okubasalira kubanga bye bayitamu. Nakyemalira si mwangu, ye taswala. Nakyemalira takola ki? Ne bakozesa tebakola ki? Mwe muyinza okwewuunya omuntu eyeekyusa nga yali Mufirika nga kati mu China ne mugaa talina kyatayinza kukola. Nakyemalira takola ki? Taswala. So tubasabire, tubateeke mu mikono gya Mukama Katonda, tujja kusobola okuguka mu nsonga eyo mu budde bwonna. Mukkirize Bannakawempe tubasaasire. Bannakawempe waliwo abali wano. muyimirire tubalabe ku bannakawempe. Bannakawempe mbakubireko mu ngalo ez'amaanyi. Kati ate fesi nzirabye ez'ekawempe. Kale kawempe eri yasegiyinya abalala mutuule. Kawempe yasegiyinya mbakubireko mu ngalo ez'amaanyi. Amanya musobola okwetuulira. Mwetuulire. Njagala okwanjula atwegasseko Council Nalukoola, you're most welcome. Nkofira muliraba agyambadde oyo munnaffe mukubireko mu ngalo ez'amaanyi. Era twebaza emirimu gyonna gy'ozookola. Njagala okwanjula PA era tumukubire engalo ez'okulabirira muganda waffe Alex. Oba wali Alex mukubireko engalo ez'amaanyi. Weebale nnyo, weebale ddala okuba nti oyimiridde wamu naffe n'okuyimirira wamu ne muganda waffe Ssegirinya. Njagala twanirize Umar Magala. People power, our power. Chairman Serunjo Jowekawempe tukutumidde. Oyo chairman Meya tukutumidde. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Njagala okwaniriza mwena ababaka ba Parliament be tulina mmwe. You're most welcome. Please stand up for recognition. Our members of Parliament. Our members of Parliament, please stand up for recognition. You're most welcome. Honorable Muwonge Kivumbi, Honorable Namuga, Honorable Bali Mwezo, you're most welcome. Honorable Aisha Kavanda, you're most welcome. Honorable Katabazi, you're most welcome. Honorable Hassan Chirumira, you're most welcome. Honorable Alozias Mukasa, you're most welcome. Honorable Zake Francis Kutevi, you're most welcome. Honorable Flavia Carolina Bagabe, you're most welcome. And Honorable Matov Charles, you're most welcome. I take special recognition of all members of NEC. Please stand up for recognition. Members of NEC. This front bench can sit. It is exclusive. The front bench can sit. Probably I'll introduce for you Natalie Maria Lewandowski, you're most welcome. Dr. Mugole Joel Mirembe, you're most welcome. My brother from Northern Region, you're most welcome. Michael, you're most welcome. My brother, the one in charge, organizing secretary, Dr. Kanabi, you're most welcome. The chairperson of the Electoral Management Committee, Master Welcome, you're most welcome. Mama Western Uganda, you're most welcome. Farida Nalatanzi, you're most welcome. My brother from Soroti, Eastern Uganda, you're most welcome. My brother, Pastor Mwanguzi, you're most welcome. Rav Majuma, Vice Women, you're most welcome. Kaluya, you're most welcome. Habib Aseka, People Power. The mayors, you're most welcome. Please start. Yes. Sylvia Namtiaba, you're most welcome, in charge of the young people. I will ask the mayors for recognition. Please stand up. Haji Ali Nganda Mnyanyama, you're most welcome. Mayor Mathias Walukaga Duke Chibabu, you're most welcome. Jumba Kasim, you're most welcome. Nama, our chairman in PG District, you're most welcome. My brother Sejemba. Ronald Namugongo, you're most welcome. My brother from Kawempe, you're most welcome. Mberaze Zake Maula Tata Namuli, you're most welcome. Mayor Kavanda, you're most welcome. Mayor Matovu, you're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, all eminent persons, you're most welcome to this press conference. And lastly, we welcome everybody, all leaders and all the foot soldiers and the media to this press conference. You're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time, allow me to invite our Deputy Secretary General to come and communicate, to give her communication. You're most welcome, Hajat Aisha Kabanda. Era mukuzika eyateeseteese by'abakyala yabadde Hajati Aisha Kabanda ow'e Butambala.
Mr. President, the Deputy President, SG, Lord, fellow colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. People power, our power. Mr. President, I'm here to invite the Secretary General, but allow me to communicate one very important thing very, very briefly. You all know that the Electoral Commission will soon be registering people that are not registered yet for elections, notably the young people, the youths. And that's between the years 18, 23. Those people in the we are not registered last time because we are not years of age. We have noticed, Mr. President, that the Electoral Commission, among the guidelines they've given, they require that each of the persons that will register will require to fill a form that will be certified by the LC1 chairpersons, up to 2, 3, and finally the office of, and GISOs, the GISOs are also stamped, and then the office of DISO. It surprises that one expects that millions of Ugandans will go and congregate at the offices of GISOs looking for them to stamp their forms. Abana bangi nnyo abali mu myaka egyo abagenda okwewandiisa. Electoral Commission ebagamba nti bonna bagende bafasobole bajuze empapula zaabwe mpaka ewa GISO yoyo akolera bya security kugombolola bw'avaayo agende ku district. Many districts nene kyetaaga omuntu ava ku kalakasemayo wansi agende ewa DISO. Abaana bajja kuŋŋaana mu bungi nakyo ng'ennaku balina ntono ddala. Kino tukimanyi nti kikoleddwa okusunsula abaana bangi abali mu myaka egitandika okulonda obutalonda n'okubakaluubiriza ennyo olw'okubanga bajja kubeetaaga transport okugenda mu DISOs gye bajja okutuuka n'okubasanga baleke kubasangayo. Mr. President, kino kisooka tukiwakanya ne sekuwakanya, tukivumirira ne tukoma kukikuvumirira tukiwakanya. What are DISOs? What have they got to do with elections? It's a security office. Aba security baagala ki mu byokulonda? Yonna aba GISO ne ba DISO be bakulira ebikoosikosi by'okunyweza musajja mukulu oba omusika. Tebalina kye banoonya mu byakulonda kwa Uganda. Mr. President, tujja kulembera lookuwa n'abakkiriza. Tetwamanya oba Parliament eddamu mwezi guno oba gujja, because the Speaker said 21st, oba 21st guno oba 21st ogujja. If Parliament is not starting immediately, tulina okukituulamu nga members of Parliament tusigobe security mu byokulonda, ebyokulonda abantu bonna, abavubuka abato balina eddembe okuwandiisibwa nga tebakaluubiriziddwa. President Museveni abatya kuba abamanyi tebumuwagira, newale tebumuwagira, akkirize nti mugenda kumutwala nga kaguddeyo, oba ayagala oba tayagala. Kati seewo olutalo olutandise kati. Buli kanaku otugamba nti guno omwaka si gwa bululu, mwaka gwa nkyukakyuka, revolutionary year. Tutandika kati ffe abavubuka okugamba tetwagala ba DISO mu byakulonda byaffe, abavubuka bagenda kwewandiisa, oba ba DISO bakoonyeeko obuntu bwabwe oba tebakoonyeeko. So President, ekinsitudde nkyogereko wano, ekisooka tukivumirira, ekyokubiri tukirwanyisa. Tebalina kibaleeta mu byakulonda, batandise obukuulikuuli ogw'okugoba abaana abatandise okwesalirawo mu nsonga zaabwe mu byokulonda. Tunajjukira nti abavubuka be basinga obungi mu ggwanga lino, kyekiseera mukozese amaanyi gammwe. The time is now, not tomorrow, but now. And we shall speak in big volumes. I thank you so much, Mr. President. Allow me to take this opportunity to invite my Secretary General to come and conduct processes as it happens. So, Secretary General, thanks for calling. Watunondo tugenderedde Mr. Haiti eya waggulu ne Madam Haiti eya wansiko. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Aisha. Mr. President, Deputy President, the leader of our parliamentary team, members of NEC present, all of you comrade leaders, members of parliament, councillors, course mayors, speakers and others. People power, our power, people power. NUP, everywhere. Yeah, I'll also start my communication by talking about our late brother, Honorable Muhammad Segirinya. We are still in mourning. We want to appreciate all of you, comrades and friends who stood with us as we sent him off in a dignified manner. And
we pray that all our leaders can emulate him and the great works he did. Njagadde okutandika ebigambo byange n'okwebaza mwena abatwegattako okuwerekera muganda waffe Honorable Segirinya Muhammad era n'okubasaba abakulembeze baffe tuleme just okumwogerako ng'omuntu eyali mukulembeze mulungi wabula yakola ebirungi naffe tubiyigireko kikulu nnyo n'okubasaba mwena abantu baffe njagala kwebaza diaspora chapters ezavaayo ne ziyimirira ne famire n'ababaka ba parliament sebo Honorable Hassan Kirimira nakulaba nga maama omuwaayo ku ssente kolo olunaku lwe twaziika n'abalala abavaayo ne bayambako tuli in touch ne famire era abantu mwena abali eyo omugenzi abaana sofa famire be yakatulaga oba amanya ge batusindikidde abeetaagayo ku buyambi naffe ng'ekibiina nga bwe tugezaako okuyamba tumanyi nti waliyo abantu eyo abayinza okugamba nti nze njagala kuyambako ku mwana ono musomese so abaana be tumanyiko waliyo Shifra Nagirinya ng'ali mu P6 ewabeerayo Alia Nagirinya naye ali mu P6 Sharifa Nagirinya ali mu P3 Aisha Nagirinya ali mu P4 Shadia Nagirinya ali mu P3 Ibrahim Segirinya P1 Alia Nagirinya omulala oyo muto ne Ivan Segirinya Bukenya naye tanatandika kusoma mulaba abaana bano bato nnyo so twagala kubasaba mutuukirire ofisi yaffe ya welfare abantu mwena abasobola okuyambako ku baana bano tujja baputinga directly in touch with the family musobole okuyambako ku baana bano njagala bajukiza nti nga NUP tulina abaana abali mu 2,200 betuyambako ng'abazadde babamu bali mu makomera abalala baafa abalala baatulugunyizibwa tebakyasobola kukola mulimu gwonna n'abalala babuzibwawo bwe mumanyi obulungi so twebaza abantu bonna batukwatirako of course n'abalala abakomuledi baffe abamu abaatufaako abamu tubayambako nga Shakira n'Abagesera n'abalala ensonga ey'okubiri kwe kwegatta ku Deputy Secretary General kwogera. Maybe I should begin in English. We want to condemn the Electoral Commission, which has already started signs of not organizing a free and fair election. One of the things they are doing is what she described. How can you ask people during the registration process to go to GISOs, who are direct workers of General Museveni, who are just there to implement and find out how Museveni can keep himself illegally in power? So we condemn that. But the other thing that they have done, which is very unfortunate, is that they have apparently, in the released demarcation report from the Electoral Commission, we have seen a trend where they are deliberately targeting places where they know it is very difficult for them to rig, where they know that the opposition against Museveni has a lot of strength. They have reduce the number of elective seats substantially, while in the areas where they presume that Museveni can easily rig elections, they have left all the leaders there. We condemn that in the strongest terms possible. For example, and as NUP, we have been advocating for a lean government, lean and effective. But we do not believe in discrimination.
And if you see Kampala, for example, it has the biggest population density. So how do you go and reduce the number of leaders in Kampala and not affect those other areas where they believe that General Museveni can easily rig elections and all that? And I'll just give a sample. In Kampala here, in the 2021 elections, we had 467 leaders at the level of councillor, those local government positions.
They have reduced them to 268. It means that they have removed 199 positions. In Masaka City, 89, 76. In Mbarara, for example, where they had 87, they have just removed 13 to leave them as 74. In Wakiso, they have removed 305 positions. 305 positions. There were 1,015, now there are only 710. Now, in other places, like I said, where they believe they can easily rig, you see that they have either not reduced or just reduced by very, very few. So we condemn that and we shall oppose it using all means necessary. Ensonga eyo nayo kanjogereko mu Luganda nti bano abantu okumanya nti bali deliberate batandise emivuyo gye baze bakola mu kulonda bagenze mu maaso n'okukendeeza ebifo ebirondebwa mu bitundu bwe bamanyi nti Museveni abantu tebamwagalira ddala si kuba nti eri awalala bamwagala naye bamanyi nti eyo basobola okubbirayo obululu. Kakati nabalaze nga mu Kampala wano Kampala City bagyeko positions oba ebifo ebyesimbwamu 199. We tubadde ne bakansala omugate nga 467 kati basigadde 268. N'olaba nga Wakiso ne bajjako ebifo 305 awabadde 1015 kati waliwo 710. Ekyo no tetwalibadde na buzibu nakyo kubanga babadde bagamba gavumenti erina okubeera lean, erina okuba ntono naye ng'ekola emirimu gyayo mu butuufu bwagyo. Naye bw'olaba ebitundu we bamanyi nti Museveni asobola okubbirayo bululu n'ebirala awo tebareducinze ebyo ebifo nga wano. So nga mukimanyi bulungi nnyo nti kati nga Kampala yesinga population. Kitegeeza ki ekyo nti bw'oba okendeeza ebifo walibadde ogenda eri awali abantu abatono kubanga mu mateeka ne basic logic abantu omuwendo gwabo obungi bw'abantu bwe balibadde butitamininga bameka babakola ki ababakiikirira. Mukimanyi bulungi nti ensonga eri ku babaka ba palamenti ti Buganda esinga population enene mu Uganda yonna yeyina ababaka abasinga obutono. Lwaki mu luzungu bakiyita gerrymandering. If you look at the population density, Buganda as a region has the biggest population in the country, and yet it has the smallest number of members of parliament. So that is what we are seeing even here, that they are trying their best to do gerrymandering, to create more elective positions in places where they believe General Museveni can easily rig elections, and where they know that the opposition is very strong, they are reducing those positions. So we are opposing that, and we shall use all lawful means to challenge it. Mu nsonga eyo waliwo n'ensonga endala gye tubadde twogerako ebbanga ddene. Kooti, the High Court, mu musango ogwawaabwa Kalali Stephen nga waliwo Electoral Commission gw'ogwo omusango omulamuzi yagusala ng'ennaku 17 eza June 2020. Kooti yavaayo n'egamba nti abantu baffe abawangalira mu diaspora bakirizibwe okulonda. Kooti n'egamba nti abantu baffe abali mu makomera nga bwe mmanyi amakomera ga Uganda nze naawe tusobola okulyesangamu nga tebunaziba basobola okujja ne batukwata wano ne batutwala mu makomera. Kati kooti yavaayo n'egamba nti buli muntu yenna ayina obuyinza okukola ki okulonda kwetaba mu kulonda. Last time mu bya 2020 ne bavaayo ne bagamba nti baali tebasobola ku implementing eyo decision kubanga obudde bwali bugenze. Kakati bawadde n'emyaka 5 miramba okutegeka ekintu ekyo, naye n'akalulu kano ke tugendamu bagambye nti abantu baffe mu diaspora n'abasibe tebagenda kulonda kubanga bakimanyi bulungi nti abantu baffe abali mu diaspora 99.9% tebasobola kulonda Museveni. Abantu baffe abali mu makomera naddala be basibira bwereere tebasobola kulonda. Gavumenti yakola ki? Yabasibira bwereere. Tetugamba nti teri bantu abasaana okusibibwa. Naye abantu baffe abasinga mu makomera ge Uganda bakusanga wali ne bagamba gwe otulabikidde bubi genda mu kkomera. Ne bakuteekako ekisangosango kyonna kyonna kye baagala. Bakusanga olina bereti n'ebirala bwe bityo. So ekyo nakyo tukikondemminga. We condemn that, and we demand that the Electoral Commission implements the decision in Kalali Stephen versus the Electoral Commission, where a court clearly said that the people in the diaspora and prisoners also are citizens and have a right to vote. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we had a very important meeting, the National Executive Committee of the party. As you all know, we've been having some vacant positions in this party, the National Unity Platform, and the President, using his powers under the constitution of the party, has appointed some people in those positions. And this morning, the National Executive Committee approved those people who are going to be introduced to you today. And may I now invite you, Mr. President, to come and receive these, your people who you have appointed, and receive them publicly. And then after that, they will say something to us. As we go into the election, you will see that these are very important positions that we are filling because of the importance that they have. But maybe apart from those people, as you all know, we had a vacancy at the National Consultative Forum, which we had a deputy president who also doubled as the vice chairperson of the National Consultative Forum. So the National Executive Committee has approved our National Treasurer, Comrade Katana Benjamin, to serve in that role. You can stand up and wave to these people to represent the National Unity Platform at the National Consultative Forum, which body brings together all political parties in the country. That is different from IPOD. We are not part of IPOD, we are not members of IPOD. But the National Consultative Forum is created by law for all political parties, not only those which are in Parliament, and our Deputy President then was the Vice Chairperson, and our comrade will be there. So, Mr. President, now let me introduce to you the other leaders. Our Deputy Secretary for Youth for Western Region has been Comrade Aguda Moses, but he recently got a full-time job. Although we still work with him, he became incapacitated for him to continue doing this role, and he is being replaced by Comrade Bwamba Geoffrey, aka Western Prince, all the way from Budibujo in Rwenzori sub-region. Western Prince, a very tall man, you'll see him when you see him, is going to be our Deputy Secretary for Youth for Western Region, all the way from Rwenzori sub-region. Ladies and gentlemen, oyo Comrade Bwambale Geoffrey agenda kubeera nga yakulembera abavubuka baffe aba Western Region oluvannyuma lwa abaddewo okufuna omulimu ogwa full time ogutamusobozesa kusigala ng'akola ogw'omulimu. Our secretary for the elderly was Mzee Byalugaba William, who we used to fondly call Jaja Noop. As you know, Jaja Noop passed on and we buried him in Kabale. And this afternoon we have a replacement, and that is Reverend Dr. Ben Byamujisha Butumbuye, all the way from Busheni District, Greater Busheni Sub-Region. A very highly educated man with a PhD, is a doctor, is going to be heading the elderly in the National Unity Platform. Omukulu ono yagenda kubanga kulembera abakadde mu National Unity Platform. Abakadde bonna bonna yagenda okubanga abatwala. Oluvannyuma, she's advising that we take the podium. Okay. It's all right. Oluvannyuma lwa eyaliwo Mzee William Byalugaba gwe twayitanga Jaja Noop okufa. Kakati omukulu ono muyivu nnyo, agenda babuulira ebitabo bye era yagenda otukulembera mu kkowe eryo. Our Secretary for Policy was the Honorable Tolit Simon Akecha, who also passed on. You remember he was our candidate in the Omoro by-election. He is being replaced by our comrade Harriet Ageno. Comrade Harriet Ageno, all the way from Dokolo district in Lango sub-region. You remember we were with her in Dokolo, so she's going to be the head of policy or secretary for policy on the National Executive Committee. Our secretary for PWDs used to be Mr. Issa Williampala, who resigned following his appointment into public service. And for that position, is being replaced by Mr. Julius Maganda from Iganga District, the Soga region. Yeah, at the Honorable Balimwezo of Inya Kutwala Sebo, the PWD's desk. Many Honorable Balimwezo are very, very passionate about PWD's issues. So you have Comrade Maganda Julius taking that. As you all know, our Deputy President for Western Uganda, and I see Bright is very happy there, because he now has a new mother. Our Deputy President, Mama Jole, passed on, and we are all very, very sad. And she's being replaced by Jole Jacqueline Tukamushaba, all the way from Ruchiga District, Chigezi Sub-Region. We now have a Deputy President for Western Uganda, Madame Jole Jacqueline Tukamushaba. Many of you remember her story when she was picked up, arrested, kept in Makenke military barracks for over a month during elections, simply because she was found with posters of our president. Maybe she will tell us more about that story. And finally, Titi, violence Yati. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that our Deputy President for Uganda region, by his own conduct and pronouncement, has since left the party, following a corruption scandal which he failed to explain to the party, and instead of humbling himself to explain and do what the NEC had asked him, he decided to leave the party and do what he has been doing. And that followed his suspension from that position. So in light of that, he's being replaced by the Honorable Muwonge. All the way from Mutambala. Takbir. Yeah. So, behold, ladies and gentlemen, our Deputy President for Uganda, people power, our power. I need to emphasize one point. These appointments are in acting capacity up to the delegates conference. The President has appointed these people in acting capacity until the delegates conference, which will be held around June this year, and the delegates conference may choose to confirm them or to, at that time we'll be having a brand new National Executive Committee. So that is very important for you, ladies and gentlemen, to note. Mr. President, even if you go back having received them, now I will request these leaders to introduce themselves, and only the two deputy presidents will speak substantively about themselves and what they will do, but the rest of us, because of time, will just introduce ourselves and go back and sit. Beginning with you, the tallest man in the team.
All right. People power. Our power. Yes, good afternoon, members of the press and all of us. My name is Western Prince Wambale. President yatugambye tubyekolere. Ebundi bujo mbazoganya era nzija awali honorable Zakawo wenyini wengenda otuula ngaawo. For my people from Rwenzori, Mama Sebabuholo, Masinjeri Byayo, Awechurucha Munawire, Bamabenye, Komamu, Deputy our youth have a Western region. And Engane, no Makaturi, Nahawe Bundibujo district. Masira Kusema.
Thank you very much. Professor.
People power. People power. Praise God. I'm convinced when you press God in the first position, everything will come true. My name is Reverend Dr. Bernard Brave Yamjisha. I'm a senior lecturer in some universities in this country, and I might call myself the founder of this NUP. Since its inception, I was there. Although it is greater than me, greater than everybody here, I'm a member, and I'm going to act in that position as a parent, as a guide, and definitely once it's streamlining, which I was promised.
Thank you very much.
People power, our power, anything, everywhere.
Like I have been introduced, my name is Benjamin Katana. Mr. President, all of you distinguished leaders and members of the NUP, I accept the additional assignment with commitment, honor, and support. I will restore and power the party of the national strategy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Yes, Comrade Maganda, all the way from Iganga.
People power, our power. My name is Mathias from wherever I can't quote. Somehow I'm physically seeing, and somewhere, somehow, at least mentally, I can say what is wrong and what's right. I remember some years ago, the Ministry of Health said in Uganda there are some many people who are 10. I'm telling at least 7 people can't get of this start. And indeed, somehow, like some of them, when they eat their hours, they are mentally disturbed. And because they talk, witness cannot be seen, you don't sympathize with them. And you end up sympathizing with someone because they are physically incapacitated. Yet some of us can even do more than what other everybody people can do. Yeah, as a president, Sina, I will conclude by thanking the president for at least that meeting. And at least I have served the people.
Thank you very much. Comrade, thank you. People back, NUP. No, during my time, you people are not excited. You're all excited if they mention somebody and replacement from Uganda. Because for me also.